You don't have any rights. All you got is your choices, whether you contract with these people or not, whether you stay in honor with them or not. You stay in honor with these people and these officers and respect and use your head, you're not going to be touched through all this meddling. You're going to be fine. You might be without some of the luxuries you have now, but you'll be fine. The thing I'm trying to get in my heart before I go do the next steps and things I want to do is to be able to say to myself, if I'm even in prison, I won't have a problem with it. And I'm getting close to that. You know, it's where you're at, to be able to make the best of wherever you're at and enjoy being there. I think that's one thing. If you can do that, that's a great step towards, But if you don't give them a name, claim the name they're asking, I'm telling you, they're at a standstill. They got nowhere to go. They need you to validate a claim on the name to have a controversy. They're a judge, just like a judge. But, man, if you realize how simple it is and just stay on point, they'll eventually go away. You could ask them why. Don't you know who you're looking for? You don't need to accuse anybody. Just ask the right questions, and they'll accuse themselves. That's how they get us in the courtroom all the time. We accuse ourselves. Yeah, that's my name. Right there, you laid a claim on somebody else's property because that's what the court assumes. That name is their property. Now, you laid a claim on it, so the judge is looking at it. You just laid a claim on something the state claims control of. We got a controversy. And it's just the name, that piece of paper on the judge's desk. That's all it takes to give them jurisdiction. You go in there for that matter, you don't claim the name? Whoa, wait a minute now. They got a problem. When has the prosecutor ever put up bond, or bail, whatever? I don't know what you call it over there. You know what I mean? To bail someone out, surety, because you're the one who put the claim on the name in there. Think about it. So you're bringing it to court with a claim on the name, so you got to back up the court charges and stuff. You're the one who's got to put up surety. Well, you claimed the name, man, right there. That's all he needs to know. Right from there, once you claim the name, they go to a guilty or not guilty plea. You don't claim the name, though, they'll never ask you whether you plead or not. You don't claim that name, they won't ask you to plead. And if the judge says, well, I'm putting a plea in for name, I just say, Judge, that means you're taking liability for the name? That's all you got to ask them. They don't know you know what you're talking about. It's staying in honor, man. You can do what you can do for people. That's all. Yep. The law doesn't require impossibilities. And if you remember that, you don't own anything, how can you give them a name? It's an impossibility. Either that. Are you asking me to commit perjury? Oh, you got to have a name. Who says I got to have a name? If I don't own anything, if I'm not of this world, see, that's another scripture, people. It's so simple. People don't realize. Be in the world and not of the world. See? In the world is using it. Of the world is a sign of ownership. It says right in the New Testament. Be in the world, not of the world. So if you're not of the world, how can you claim ownership to anything? Because once you claim ownership, whatever you claim ownership of claims ownership of you. See? But heck, if I don't own anything, how can I, it's an impossibility for me to give you anything. And it's a maxim. Impossibilities are not required by the law. I should probably turn around and say to me, well, you signed a contract to get in here, didn't you? Did I?
Did I?
Put that piece of paper on the witness stand. I want to cross-examine it.
Yeah.
I'd blow her mind. I know I could.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be getting so cocky. But
isn't this your signature on this piece of paper? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. Who's holding it?
No.
I'd make it your signature, wouldn't it? Possession's 9/10 of the law, ain't it, Judge? I'm just using it. I don't own it. How can I do anything if I don't own it? You want it? You're going to take it. Driver's license, for instance. Who owns that driver's license? I ask guys that all the time. Oh, the state. Oh, well, if the cop's holding the driver's license, says this your driver's license, I'd say, what makes it? How do you know what evidence do you have that it's my driver's license? Who's holding it? Well, I guess it's yours now. Huh? Why don't you write yourself a ticket?
Right, and that's why they're always going, your constitutional rights. And it's like, what do you mean, my constitutional rights? Your constitutional right to party to this. Like, how am I party to the Constitution?
Yeah, what's it got to do with me?
Yeah. Because you're a U.S. citizen. Well, what makes you think I'm a U.S. citizen?
Yeah, is there an application?
You live in Minnesota. What's Minnesota?
What do you mean? Yeah, what evidence do you have? So the point of it is, you got an application? I'd like to look at it. Maybe I want to be a United States citizen. No, the point of the matter is why I've changed that under threat to arrest. I'm here as a friend of the court to help settle the matter. I'm here to help you guys, man. You got a piece of paper to me that somebody thinks I'm liable for, and I want to help point out a mistake. See, when Christ was before Pontius Pilate, you king of the Jews, think a king of the Jews is the name? He says, you say that I am. He said, did you come up with that on your own, or did somebody tell you that? Huh? And what Pontius Pilate say? I find no fault with this man. He gave him first-hand knowledge.
I got cases dismissed just with return to sender stickers on the mail.
Yeah, you never contract. Even if you didn't send them back, you don't contract. They can. Oh, you got this. What evidence do you have that I ever got it? You're the first witness against yourself. It's like when a sheriff comes with a summons. I'm looking for Mr. So-and-so. Well, what evidence do you have that he's here? Don't you know who you're looking for?
Yeah, I like that one the best. Don't you know who you're looking for?
They'll go away. But you say, hey, what's it about? Or you start meddling, ask the wrong questions. You're going to find yourself in the paddy wagon. A piece of paper, a wooden idol, man. A silver bullet. What good is it if you don't know how to aim the gun? You know? What did you have done right then and there when that cop stopped you? I love you, man. What can I do for you? What's your name? Well, I'd love to give you a name if I had one. As soon as I don't have one, what else you got on your list? Huh? What a cop going to do when you talk to him like that? Now think about it. Silence. I love it. I do things like that, and all of a sudden, nobody talks. How are they going to put you on a 72-hour hold when you didn't validate that you were one of their subjects? They won't do it, man. They know. They're going to get on the horn with their supervisor. What do I do here? I never met a guy like this. They've done it with me a number of times. They had to call their supervisor. They've done it with me a number of times. Roadside stops.
Because if they start carting people off, then they're laying claim to property they don't own.
Well, that's called kidnapping. You better make sure the guy consents before you kidnap him. You can't kidnap anybody without their permission. Think about it, people. Last thing you want to do, last thing you want to do is threaten or accuse your brother. You never threaten or accuse anybody. No need to. They do fine on their own. Yeah, it's a maxim of law. You can't give somebody something. It's an impossibility. You're not required to give them possibilities of the law. If you don't own anything, a name is ownership. Is this your name? Sorry, but I don't own a name. What can I tell you? You wouldn't want me to commit perjury?
Yeah. Just listening to the question itself, is this your name? Well, your is, if you look at the definition, it's based on possession. You know, do you possess this name?
Exactly.
Do you have a name? That's all possessive phrasing. It's a spellbound. You know, you're bound to that spell. Do you have this?
Exactly.
How do I have possession of that? It's impossible.
Exactly. And what's it say in the scriptures? What's it say in the scriptures? Be in the world, not of the world. Of is a sign of ownership. If you're of the world, you're claiming ownership. And the world owns you. You're of the world. I'm just in it, buddy. Enjoying a ride. I don't even own the shirt on my back. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we listen to the language and we forget what it means so easily, because if somebody says to you, give me an apple, you can only give them an apple if you actually have it. When they say, give me your name, you can only give it if you have it.
Yeah.
I don't have one. I don't have one.
I have a name.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that I have one.
And you know something? You ask a judge or a lawyer for his name, they won't want to say it because they know that they're putting a claim in on something that they can't own. They'll shut up. They won't answer you. You can call me judge. But what's your name? Is that what your mother calls you, judge? You get your heart right, man. You go in that courtroom, and I'll tell you something. They won't want you back. And they'll send somebody to see you and protect you. You're protected, man. You're one of the chosen when you know how to act. I have no fear anymore of the police or anybody around me. When I ask questions, I try to leave the negatives out of it. And they ask the question, well, isn't it true? No, I say, is it true? See? I'm working on that. It's so hard to get over using negatives all the time. The draft even, they had the draft over here in the so-called states. That was all voluntary. You know all you had to do to get out of the draft? Don't sign up. I never signed up for the draft. Nobody come took me away. But if you did sign up, just go in there and ask. When they say, hey, put your right hand up, take a step forward, I'd put my left hand up and take a step backwards. Now I asked the guy, hey, am I giving up any of my rights by joining this club? And I'll tell you, they'll give you a bus ticket and send your ass home. They might him and haw, and it's that simple. It's all consent, man. People consent to go to war and kill one another. I got better things to do. I don't know about you.
It's appalling, really, when you think about the millions of people that that have consented to kill people.
Yeah, and they think they're doing it by protecting the rest of the world. How fucking stupid are you? I mean, and I try to tell people, man, you don't need all this paper bullshit. Just say, hey, Judge, I was using the property. Where was they when I moved on it? Nobody objected. I'll tell you right there, that's all. The judge will never send a sheriff out there to move you.